All right, we are now live. What's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, with our guest tonight, Lance Weller, and special co-host, many of you know, Greta Volkova. How you both doing tonight?
Good, doing good. Trying to stay cool.
Is that either acting cool or hot-wise cool, or a little of both?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, these Louisiana heat summers are pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm in Florida. It's pretty hot here
Oh,
too.
yeah,
So
oh yeah. You
I
know the
I was
story.
dumb the other day, and
Yeah,
I went to get the mail, and I just go, I'll just run out. I didn't put my shoes on, burnt the bottom of my feet. I'm like, that was not smart of me.
yeah. That concrete gets hot.
You froze up. What was that? I don't know if it was my end or
Yeah, I said that concrete gets super hot.
yeah. I don't know if it was my computer, but you froze up for a second there.
Oh
But
wow.
anyway. But yeah, I heard you now about the concrete. Yeah, Florida concrete. Yeah, cooked me pretty bad. I mean, I'm better now, but
Yes, indeed. When we were kids, we'd go to the water park, and the concrete would be super hot, and you'd have to run and hurry up and try and get to the next slide because that it would be like melting your feet off.
yep. Uh, so how you been this week? Watch anything interesting or do anything?
I've been wanting to watch. I haven't watched it yet. Maybe y'all have, and y'all could talk a little bit about it. Under Paris.
Not
Uh,
yet.
Not yet. I've been hearing good things about that. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been hearing nothing but good things about that. So I think that'll be a good. I like those types of movies. You know, the creature, the creature features. Like what is it, Crawl with the alligator? That was pretty cool. I like those types of movies and things like that.
Yeah, Crawl was a good one. Yeah. But, so since you said you like creatures, features, and stuff, is that your favorite out of horror genres?
No, I would definitely say slashers are definitely my foray. I just I don't know. I like the silent killer, just kind of in the background, following, stalking, and doing all those crazy things that you would kind of see in like the earlier Friday the 13th, where it's from the waist down, just kind of slowly stalking their prey. And I kind of like that type of stuff.
Right.
In one of
But
the,
when
the
you mentioned,
promo, in one of the
go ahead.
promo pictures, you were wearing a Jason Voorhees outfit. Was that part of a project that you did?
No, me and a friend of mine, we did some promotional shots because I do a lot of cosplay stuff, and they actually live on a farm, so they have like all these old tool sheds and things like that. Um, so I was just taking a picture of for my cosplay stuff with that. But I mean, I wouldn't be against playing Jason in a fan film or something like that. That would be super cool for sure.
Nice.
Which is your favorite fan film? Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen like Never Hike Alone, stuff like that.
Like alone, that I think that might have been one of the first ones where it was actually the cinematography was actually really good, and I was like, wow, the Friday the 13th fan films are actually kind of pushing the envelope, with the whole, I think, what was it, 2009, the last Friday the 13th came out. So,
Hmm.
the fans have kind of been sitting and waiting, and the fans took it upon themselves to, keep Jason alive, essentially. And I enjoy that. I think my favorite one would probably be, is it, I think it's called, is it Rose Red or there's, it's like Rosebud or Rose Red or something like that. Friday the
I think
13th.
it's Rosebud. I think. Do you know Greta? I mean, I can't remember what it is. It's either Rosebud or Rose.
No, I mean I've only seen a few fan videos of Jason.
But I will say there is kind of a special spot in my heart for the Never Hike Alone because they were kind of, they kind of jumped to the front of the line on that and created that, and I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I mean, they had YouTube video, like Jason
It was
versus Michael Myers and things like that, that were pretty cool. I mean, I was a big fan of Freddy versus Jason. That was actually my first horror film that I saw in theaters when I was younger. So I did have, a special spot in my heart for the whole versus thing, even though it's super cheesy. But I like seeing, our slashers go toe to toe with each other.
Right. Go ahead, Greta. You found the title there?
Yes, it was Rose Blood, a Friday the 13th fan film.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
Roseblood. Okay.
Roseblood. Yeah, that
And,
one I enjoyed a lot. I think they brought back the main actress from Part 7, I believe that was.
One
I
of
think
them,
they utilized her in that movie. Yeah, from New Blood, or is it? Yeah, New Blood.
Yeah, Cheetah says that Friday the 13th Origin of Evil is a good one.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that one up. There's so many ones now, and they're all really good. There was one I can't remember the title of it, but they brought Tom Matthews back, and he played a medic at the very end of that. They had announced that he was going to come on and play a medic, and that was pretty cool. I thought that was a good one for sure.
Well, I think that's the sequel of Never Hike Alone, I believe. In the snow, Never Hike Alone in the snow.
Right. Yeah. Or it might have been, maybe it was the first Never Hike Alone.
It's one of the two. It's either Never Hike Alone or Never Hike Alone in the Snow.
I think it was, yeah. So it was cool, and actually, we have a special effects studio here in Louisiana, and they're the ones that created the mask for Jason in that Never Hike Alone series, and that's actually where I got my Jason mask from that I use. I have two masks. I have the living mask, like the Part 4 mask, and then I have the undead, grayed out, undead Jason. So it's pretty cool. They do a really good job. It's CFX is the name of the company.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have a preference versus the living Jason versus the undead one?
Yeah, I do like Part 2, Part 3 Jason. I don't know exactly why. Well, maybe he does kind of run in those films, so maybe he's a little bit quicker, a little more spry, I guess you could say. And it's just the fact that he was technically still a human at that point, like his skin wasn't decaying. He wasn't technically like an undead zombie type thing. I thought was pretty cool. But when Kane Hodder came on in Part 7 as Jason New Blood, that was pretty cool too. Just seeing his whole skeletal remains and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool from a special effects standpoint. That looked pretty cool. Part 7 Jason would probably be the coolest looking, I would say, of the bunch. But movies wise, I would say 2 and 3 I prefer the most.
Nice. So if you want to tell us a little bit where you grew up and what got you into horror.
Sure. I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's kind of like a metropolitan area down here in Louisiana, city boy. And there's actually a lot of crime, believe it or not. And when I was like 5 years old, we were coming home from somewhere. I can't remember where it was exactly, but a car pulled up in our driveway when we were getting out of our car, and this dude came and robbed my family. It was me, my sister, my mom, and my dad, and the gunman, we didn't know it at the time, was actually a 15-year-old son of a pastor that was robbing us. And my dad fought with the guy to try and get the gun out of his hands and actually shot my dad. And so he was in our driveway. He survived, thankfully, but that's what I call my Batman moment, because I kind of in the camp of believing, people like comedians and things like that, they go through these tragedies, And I kind of feel that they get into the entertainment business to make people laugh or make people feel good or, do things like that. And I think that's kind of where it started. Uh, for me being in the film industry specifically, I would say I had an eighth grade teacher and we had an English paper that we had to write. And I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something, it was like this crime thriller thing that I actually wrote. I was in the eighth grade when I wrote this. And the teacher actually was like, "You're going to go places, Lance. This is really well written. Uh, this is you you will be working in the film industry. I see it happening. I can see the progression there, and I think that kind of put the bug in my ear to pursue it. And then throughout high school, I joined digital media, and we would make videos and commercials, and big trailers, and things like that. And I I loved it. I really did, and that kind of I kind of saw that's where I wanted to be in life. Uh, and I was we did well with it. We made a bunch of YouTube videos outside of school and things like that. And then we got hit my senior year in high school. My sister passed away, so I actually had to drop the filmmaking stuff and actually have to help my mom and dad out and things like that because it shook our family to the core on that. So I had to put the filmmaking aside for that for about 10 years, and then in 2021 uh, they had Hallmark. Uh, Hallmark was doing a Christmas movie with Bruce Campbell, nonetheless. And I said, I need to get on this movie. It's happening right in our backyard. It's called My Southern Family Christmas. So I met Bruce Campbell, worked with him, and it just kicked the flame back on that I needed to be in the film industry. And then from there, I networking and talking to people and working in the business, and it's just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, he's a Hallmark fan here, so Patrick was asking Hallmark.
Yes, yeah, My Southern Family Christmas. It was pretty good. It was cool to talk with Bruce Campbell. Very very laid back dude, hilarious. Went above and beyond in scenes that he didn't need to be there. He would read scenes in his character's voice that he didn't have to be in the scene for, but he wanted to be in the scene with everyone and help everyone along. And he really is a cool dude. I was glad to say that I worked with Bruce on that.
Mm-hmm. Since you said it was filmed there and everything, what were they casting for extras, or how did you get involved with that?
That's what it was. Yeah, I started out as a background extra on that, and then from there, in between the scenes, I was talking to this girl named Desiree, and she actually was doing other films and things like that. And I said, well, how do you get films and things like that? How did you work your way into the business? And there's a website called My Casting File, and it's kind of like a job listings thing. And so I signed up for it, and boom, 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 I was getting roles for the Half Baked, Totally High. That was my next role that I did. I was a VIP patron in that movie. Worked with David Koechner from the Anchorman movies. He was pretty cool on that. And me getting back into the movies, I wasn't working in horror movies, but I wanted to get to the horror movies. It just wasn't in the cards. There weren't really any horror movies being made in Louisiana at that time. And then I did a couple more roles here and there. There was a TV show that just came out with Giancarlo Esposito called Parish that takes place in New Orleans, where he's like a hit man that's been out of the business and he gets pulled back into it. It's this crime drama thing that's really really cool. Did that, and then that's when I met. Or I started speaking with Sean Phillips actually with Skate to Hell, and then I worked with them on that, and then I kind of got the bug for working with an independent crew again, like how I used to do with my friends back in the high school days. That's what it felt like. Because with these other productions, there's more pressure. Uh, but with independent filmmaking, it's so much less pressure. I find it's easier. It's more camaraderie. You know, everyone there is working together. It's like a tight knit little family. And then from there, did Skate to Hell, and then I went to Clown Motel 3 with Joseph Kelly, and I'm going to be a cowboy in that. Actually, we haven't filmed it yet. We're going to start filming in August. But some of the people that worked on Skate to Hell are working on that. And again, it's like a kind of like, I know some people don't like Adam Sandler, but kind of like how Adam Sandler uses his same members and things like that, because they all know how to work together and things like that. They know, you know, how well things work together with each other. And then that's kind of how it is with Sean and his crew, and I like that a lot. It's nice to have that, to know what you're getting into and who you're working with and stuff like that.
Yeah. Patrick was saying cool duder. He was asking, he meant on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Me and Greta get that. We call ourselves the Polonia Pals. So it's great having that community. And unfortunately, I haven't worked with Greta yet, but I know one day we will. So
hopefully soon.
Yeah. Got a question here. Are those roles you won through auditioning?
A couple of them I did. There was one I did for Carry On. That's a Netflix movie. It's not a horror movie, but it's with Taron Egerton, the guy that played Elton John in Rocket Man. He's a TSA agent at LAX airport, and Jason Bateman is this mysterious character that's trying to get a package on a plane, and it's actually a bomb, and it's on Christmas. So it's like a Christmas thriller. That I did do a little auditioning on, and I was able to get a no speaking role, but I am a featured background character on that one. But other than that, the Skate to Hell, when I was talking with Sean, I gave him my background. I spoke with him countless times, and it was really, something that we wanted to work on together. It was also an Indiegogo project, and I donated some money to help on that project as well. I'm a producer on that one, and it's really changed the independent industry, I would say, with the Indiegogo projects. You kind of put a little money into it, it kind of helps move the production along. But back when I was doing the YouTube videos and stuff like that, back in 2008, 2009, 2010, we really didn't have that. We were having to spend what little money we did have on the production, and it might have made it a little less great in quality, I guess you could say. But with this Indiegogo, it kind of helps fine tune everything to where it comes out really, really well. Which Marriage Bites with Ashley Hargrove, she just wrote that, and we're about to start filming on that as well. And that's also an Indiegogo thing. A lot of independent things are going on with the Indiegogo campaigns and things like that, which if you're looking to jump into it, that would definitely be something to look into, Indiegogo, and start your way up there, through the independent films and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot of them going on. I know there's like Amityville Barbie's going on. What was it? There's something with like a fly. And I know Jessa Flux, who's been doing a lot. I think she's in it too. It's kind of like what is it? Just something Death Trap or Venus Death Trap or something?
Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah. Yes. And then there's another one which I'm talking with the director. I'm gonna try and help him out on that one. It's called Bad Apples. That's another one that had a pretty good premise to it, where these little kids are bad and killing people and stuff like that. But
isn't there a movie that's already out? I thought, or that must be a sequel then, because I know there's a movie out called Bad Apples about two killer girls, so that must be a sequel, maybe.
Yeah, I think it will be a sequel. I think.
Okay, so that sounds familiar. I saw that movie.
Yeah. So it's cool that it gives you a little freedom, to be able to make something like a passion project and get it made, essentially. See it come to fruition, and I'm just happy to see that that the independent filmmaking, I guess you could say, the atmosphere has changed, and that's pretty cool. It kind of comes in favor of the filmmakers on that.
Mm-hmm. And this is just a comment that I just now noticed and missed, but Greta is a cat pal.
Yes, indeed.
Which I saw one of her cats there earlier.
Yeah. Mischievous as hell.
Another question to that: do you think it's better to pay for your roles rather than audition for them?
That is a good question. I would say, if anything, do both. Audition, get used to auditioning and things like that. There's different ways you got to look at the camera and stuff like that, and have people read your lines to you and many things like that. So I would say, while if you are doing a couple minor things here and there on Indiegogo, also be applying for auditioning of roles and things like that. Another thing you can use is it's called Actors Access, which is basically a more national version of that application that I was using originally when I spoke with the girl on My Southern Family Christmas. There's roles, I've seen listings for doing auditions and self-tapes for, believe it or not, with, like, say, Disney, Lilo and Stitch. There's a live action movie coming. Saw a listing of that on there. There was one I put in an audition for. It has your boy from Parks and Rec. I can't think of his name. The guy that played Ron Swanson. He plays. Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he plays like this super right, like religious, like televangelist essentially, and his son is I can't think of his name, but he had played the little baseball player in Dr. Sleep, the one where the group kidnaps him and brings him to the baseball field. He's actually going to be the son of Ron Swanson on that. I haven't heard back on that one. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. We'll see. But that one sounded like it'll be a really exciting thriller to do. But yeah, Actors Access, that definitely opens up a lot more possibilities. My friend Joseph Poliquin actually told me about it. He played Carl on Five Nights at Freddy, the guy with the cupcake.
Yeah, I had him on last week or the week before, or whatever, recently. Yes.
And he had instructed me on that, to check that out, Actors Access, and it really has opened doors, doing auditions and things like that. Helped me practice and things like that. It's pretty good tool to use, I would say.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you've done a lot of advice.
Sorry.
It sounds like you've done a lot of union projects. Are you a SAG-AFTRA? Are you SAG eligible?
I am not. I would love to be SAG. I haven't reached the eligibility requirements yet on that, but that's my end goal, to become a SAG actor on that. But I'm pretty close to that. Our Marriage Bites movie that we're working on with Ashley Hargrove, that's going to be a SAG film. So I think probably either after that film or maybe one after that, I think I'll have the eligibility on that to become SAG.
Mm-hmm. But do you think if you become SAG, it might hinder, to work on independent movies?
That's a good question. It's very possible. I haven't really spoke with anybody on that would that's another thing. I don't have an agent, so I kind of do this all myself, all the promotions and things like that. Uh, I would probably need to speak with someone on that to see where everything lies on that. I do know the guy that came on, Joseph Poliquin. He is in fact a SAG actor, and he's been doing the independent films as well. So I think it might help. But say like if we were to go into a strike or something like that, uh, I know you couldn't work on a SAG film, but I think like A24 is not SAG eligible, and I think they were able to work while everybody else had to. All the other production companies had to be down during the strike. But that's something I would have to look into for sure on that to verify, because I would like to stay majority in independent films for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the specifics myself, but I do know like certain SAG actors were saying like that it did depend, and then there were certain waivers, certain things they could do and couldn't.
And
So
I
like,
think what it was, nothing like that had happened since what was it, 1960 or something like that. So I don't think really anybody really knew exactly where the fine lines were on that. But I'm sure after this past one, they kind of solidified and verified everything on that. So I will have to look and kind of read into it and figure that out. And maybe I'll talk with Joe and see what his thoughts are on that and everything. And because yeah, I wouldn't want to box myself in, I guess you could say on that for sure. But yeah, definitely just check and make sure before you jump into something like that, because yeah, it's potential you could be boxed in on something like that. Um, but yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, and I know
I
some
wish I
people.
knew, but
I know some people who were kind of at that point too, but some of them are hesitant because of the initial due, the dues that you
that is
have like the
that
first
yeah,
year.
the
That's
dues on
pretty
that is
hefty.
pretty hefty for sure. Um, like the initiation fee, I think is like 3 grand or something like that, which that's a lot of money. Definitely to take a leap of faith on. But yeah, but Joe says, with SAG and everything, you know, he's he's preferred becoming SAG. That was his steps in his acting career for sure to become, and he's been doing pretty well, I would say, on that. But yeah, I don't think Skate to Hell was a SAG film, but he was the main character in that one, and he did a really good job in that film. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'm actually starting a acting class with a couple of talent agencies out here. Um, on Tuesday, actually, I'm going to start my first class there, and I'll ask them that when I go there. They'll be more knowledgeable about those types of things and be able to answer my questions. Um, but yeah,
for Skate to Hell, I know they have the trailer out and everything. What can you tell us a little about your character in it, or what part you play in it?
sure. My character is one of the homeless.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it froze. You see it froze too, Greta?
Yeah. Hopefully it's just temporary.
Or if you might have to reconnect, I don't know. His character's frozen, man. Oh, he'll probably sign right.
There we go. Okay. Um, yeah. So my character's name was Dan. We called him Dirty Dan. Behind the scenes, it was funny. But so the Devil's Son comes to Earth on his skateboard that's possessed, has these special powers, and he actually comes to Earth and he's eating these homeless people because in his mind nobody's gonna come looking for these homeless people. So he's just gonna enjoy and have his fill on these homeless people, unhappily, uh, doing what they do. But so we take him into this homeless shelter, and he's becoming friends actually with us in the homeless shelter, and it's an interesting dynamic for sure on how things go about and the final product on that. But it's the group of people I worked with for those scenes. I worked with Eileen Dietz. She was in The Exorcist. She played
Yeah,
the
she
demon
was
in The
the
Exorcist.
actual
Mhm.
demon since Linda
Correct.
Blair was too
Yeah.
young to do that.
Yeah. And then we had Todd Phillips. He played the older brother in Different Strokes, and so Willis he played in just Different Strokes. He was great to work with, and then we worked with Eric Roberts on that as well, and he was a great guy to work with, ace actor, great to work with.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of different horror, independent horror movies. He's done a
And
lot.
I think he has the title for actor who's been in the most films, I believe, which is pretty cool.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to take a look at his Internet Movie Database, but I know it's just like movie.
Yeah. But yeah, it was great working with Sean. I saw a little of myself in my high school days when I would see him work, setting up the scenes and things like that. And it made me a little nostalgic that I was kind of back to where I should be, doing films like this and working with a ragtag group of people getting ready to, make a make a nice film that, everyone's going to enjoy.
A nice family movie, Skate to Hell. I
That's
hear it's
right.
supposed to be
Coming this
really
holiday
gory.
season.
Like yeah, I heard like he's like pushing the extreme on that one. I mean, if
Oh
you've
yeah,
seen the Sean stuff, but
that's
yeah,
right. Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
it's gonna be
So,
good.
but
Uh,
yeah,
Welcome Hobbs. He said that he
Hmm.
understood you have some family in the business. Anything you took from your family members who have been in the business?
Yeah. Actually, that is another thing I forgot about. My grandfather was actually in the 1988 film Gator Bait 2, Cajun Justice. He played the town pastor in that. My dad would always tell me as a kid, he's like, "Yeah, your granddad was in this film." Blah 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 blah, and I was like, I didn't believe him or whatever. But then when I got older and we watched it together, I was like, yeah, that's my grandpa in the film. That's wild. I was like, well, if he can do it, maybe I can too. And that was pretty cool to see for sure.
And it's called Gator. One more time.
Yes, it's Gator Bait 2, Cajun Justice. There was a Gator Bait 1 that came out in 1980.
Okay.
It's like an exploitation film. The first movie, this the actress or the character is she lives with her younger brother and sister out in the swamps. They live in like a boathouse shack out in the swamps, and the crooked cops and townsfolk or whatever kind of rough them up and do some stuff, and she like goes on a revenge path. It's pretty good actually. And then the second one is the younger son is getting married, or the younger brother is getting married, so he's older in this film, and his wife takes revenge on the corrupt people in the city and town that are doing bad things to them and whatnot. I guess revenge from the first movie on that, but it was pretty. They're pretty good to watch. It's a little hidden gem, I would say, for sure.
Okay, I have to check them out. Yeah, they were talking about. She was saying to Hobbs, "Don't you own it?" And he says he wishes those are hard to find. Those
Oh
two
yeah,
movies. So,
yeah.
uh,
I always like seeing a movie, a Louisiana-based movie. I don't know. I guess I'm nostalgic with all the Louisiana stuff, but you know, they they filmed quite a few things throughout the years here, and it's nice to see things in places that you've been to, and you're like, oh, I've been there, or oh yeah, I've passed by that. It's cool. I like it. I'm sure that's how it is with everybody in their own states where they live and stuff. It's cool to have movies from your hometown for sure.
Yeah, I was just checking Tubi real quick, just out of curiosity to see if Gator Bait was on there. I don't know. Let's see. That'd be cool if
Was
it
your
was.
grandfather proud that he was in that, or was it just like kind of
Funny
like
fact, he wasn't really informed that it was like an exploitation film. He knew he was going to be a pastor, and he was cool with that. And he got on set, and the scene he's in is not bad or anything like that. So he thought it was cool, and then when he saw the finished product, he was a little taken aback by that, the violence and the gore and all that type of stuff. So I don't think he regretted it, but it definitely caught him by surprise, I would say.
So they just filmed his scene then, and he wasn't aware of
Right. His scene was in the wedding, and he's dancing with like the bride and the scene and all that. And it's a happy point in the movie because it's the beginning, so it hasn't really gotten into the craziness yet. So, but yeah, my dad said he was taken aback for sure by that when he found out that it was like an exploitation film, like a 70s, 80s exploitation film.
Right.
Probably like embarrassing. You set the whole family down. That's like, that kind of exploitation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what did I expose my family to?
Exactly.
So what do you think? Do you think any parts of movies or that you would watch with your family would be like, that's kind of awkward, but or you warned them ahead of time or anything like that?
Well, fun fact, when I first was auditioning or putting out that I wanted to be in Half Baked 2, there was a role for a cadaver in the morgue, and it was supposed to be like full frontal nudity and all that. And I was like, okay, yeah. I tried to audition for that, but the role had gotten filled the day before or whatever. But if you watch Half Baked Totally High, yeah, that would definitely be something. Probably wouldn't be showing my whole family, but yeah, it's a wild scene for sure if you ever see the movie.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I actually think I saw that on Tubi when I was going through.
It is on Tubi.
Well, at least I'm warned that I'm going to see a naked dead body.
Yes. It comes out of nowhere, believe it or not, for sure.
Oh gosh, just like when Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Did you see that? Kristen Bell, Jason Segel does that scene.
Yeah.
I was at a convention and what's his name from Supernatural? He had like the telepathic powers in an episode. I don't know if you watch Supernatural or not.
I've seen a couple episodes, but I'm not sure.
He was saying how he took his fiance or no, his wife and mother-in-law, well, whatever at the time. I can't remember if they were married or engaged. And like, yeah, I took a mother-in-law to go see that movie. Had no idea that happens. Where I'm like, oh my god, I'm watching this with my
Oh yeah. Those scenes like that just come out of nowhere, and yeah, that definitely. My mother would have been shocked if we had watched that for sure.
So I guess pretty much you would probably audition. I mean, within reason, like certain roles, it doesn't bother you, anything like that.
Correct. Yeah. Oh yeah. Whatever it takes to be in the role, I'm fine with. When I was younger, I was a little more self-conscious, I guess you could say. But as I've gotten older, I've been a little more open and whatnot on that.
Mm-hmm. Also, we'll bring up, since you cosplay and everything, you plan on any conventions soon, whether attend as a guest or just you like to just go as
I have. There's one coming up in August called Cult Classic Convention. They do one in Baton Rouge, and then there's also one they do in Bastrop, Texas. One of the creators of the convention is actually Roy Rose. He owns the gas station that the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed in. I'm gonna be going to that one in August as a guest. Joe's gonna be there as well, Joseph Poliquin, and Eileen Dietz as well. So I'm trying to see if I can maybe get a Escape to Hell panel going on that. Just to have all three of us back on that would be pretty cool, and to talk a little more on that. Also, there's a retro gaming convention that's going to be in September. I'm going to be in that one as well. That one's going to be in Morgan City, Louisiana. That city's kind of out in the distance there compared to Baton Rouge. But so those two are coming up, and I'm always a fan of Texas Frightmare. That would be cool to eventually become a guest at Texas Frightmare. I'm always going as a guest, but I would be very honored one day to be able to go to Texas Frightmare as a guest.
That'd be cool. I mean, you could always get a vendor's table too, or whatever.
True,
You know how
true, and start that
people
way.
get
Yeah,
there, sell stuff at the tables and stuff, and
exactly.
so,
Yeah, that would be cool.
Got a comment here. He said, "Ever notice how Cool Duder never takes off his baseball cap?"
That's right. Yes,
Hey, it's his good luck cap. Oh, what else? Anything you got in mind there, Greta? You want to ask?
Is there a character you have not cosplayed yet that you want to cosplay, or a character that you want to play in a movie?
Like we had discussed earlier, I would love to play a silent. I'm 6'3", so I'm pretty tall. Just some masked slasher. I would love to play one of those. I've been doing that as cosplays forever. As for a cosplay I've never done, I would like to do maybe the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. That's always been something I've liked, his design and everything. I think that would be something cool to do. But I do also have another idea that I haven't fully done yet. It would be like a Freddy and Jason mix mash. So it would be like the Jason mask with the hockey mask, the Freddy Krueger red and green sweater underneath, and then like the burlap jacket on top to do that, and then have like the claw on the right hand with the machete in the left. I thought that would be kind of cool to do. I'll probably eventually do that one. But yeah, those two would probably be the top ones that I would like to do. I've done many leather faces and your run-of-the-mill Jasons and things like that. But yeah, those two would probably be my two tops that I would like to do.
Okay. So like a Freddy versus Jason merge for real.
Like I call it Dream World Jason, where it would just be, Freddy like encompassing Jason, trying to scare the kids, essentially.
Okay. So, I'm sure you've heard they're going to be doing. Well, I don't know. I've heard two things, that it was going to be coming out, the Crystal Lake, and then they said they were canceling it, and then they said that's not true. They are doing it. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think one of the showrunners had backed out of that, I think is what it was. So I would love for Crystal Lake to come out. I like Bates Motel. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they did a good job on that.
So I think, and really, I mean, if you look at Norma Bates and Norman Bates, the whole mother-son dynamic, I could kind of see that with Crystal Lake, with doing flashbacks and whatnot, seeing Pamela and Jason together and whatnot before the incident. That would be pretty cool. And then flashing forward into present day of Jason, killing teens, sneaking into Crystal Lake and things like that. I think that would be cool. Yeah, I'm hoping, and that Jason will have a resurgence. I do know they came out. Is it called Jason Universe, I believe, or something like that? It's like some kind of thing Horror Inc. just announced maybe about a week or two ago.
I'm not sure. I missed.
Yeah, it's they're saying that they're going to do a lot of different things with Jason. A lot of people are speculating that means.
Oh yeah, but it's not. They're not doing another movie yet, though.
No,
but I think they're like bringing back the game and stuff.
Yeah, I've been hearing people saying that maybe there's going to be another game or a sequel to the first game or something like that. Yeah. So that'll be cool. But yeah, movie wise, it's rough. Just kind of seeing how hard I guess it is to get another film made. But I think from what it sounds like, they've pretty much on both ends of the spectrum come to terms on that with Jason about, you know, Victor Miller getting paid or, vice versa with Horror Inc. So hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later that we'll see something come through. But yeah, it's been since 2009 we've been holding our breath. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and then after a while they cut off the game. So
yeah, they did. Yeah, which I mean, the Uber Jason would have been pretty cool to play on the game for sure.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about TV shows that they've made off horror movies like The Purge and Child's Play or Chucky, whatever they want to call it?
The Chucky series, I would say, has been pretty decent. As the Child's Play franchise has shown, there's ups and downs with it. Things that are cool, things that don't come across as great. But I would say the TV show has been pretty on par. The gore, I'm a huge gore guy, so I think the gore has been pretty good in that series. The Purge series, I've liked all the Purge movies. The TV series, I saw just the first season. I didn't see anything after that, but the first season was pretty good, and they actually filmed that in New Orleans. I think Joseph was on that as well, Joseph Papa Quinn. That did pretty well. I would actually like to see a Texas Chainsaw Massacre show. I think that would be interesting to see.
Like the family and stuff. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think I can't remember if I heard it or if it's true or not. I think they were like saying even Halloween TV show they might do.
I did hear that. Yeah. And with that, it sounded like they said they were wanting to go with John Carpenter's original idea of doing the anthology situation on that, which that would be cool. I'd like to see, his original idea of doing the whole anthology thing.
Like the third one this season, how they wanted to do that, and then a lot of people were like, "Where's Michael Myers?"
Yeah,
it is good for what it is. Like some people don't like it because like, "Oh, it's no Michael Myers," but for what it is, if you go into it knowing it's not like the original Halloween, then
exactly.
That movie gets so much hate, but I think it's a decent standalone movie.
It is. It's a good. I mean,
it just shouldn't have been called Halloween 3. They should have had like a little different name to it.
Yeah, the whole mask thing, turning people into like corpses or whatever that was. Yeah, bugs coming out of their face and stuff like that's cool. I like that. But the jingle, Someone was saying that they were saying if they could watch one horror movie the rest of their life, it would be that movie, and everybody dogged them, saying, you would have to hear that jingle X amount of hours every day, and all this and that. And so that's pretty funny. But the jingle's pretty catchy. But I thought it was good for what it was. But no. Sometimes when you have a loyal fan base, they get pretty set in their ways on stuff like that, and if you mess with the formula, it makes it kind of rough, So they kind of turn to that really bad. Which I mean, I guess I could understand. I mean, if you're there to see Michael Myers and you don't see Michael Myers, then you're gonna be disappointed. But I like to keep an open mind on things,
I typically will like the least favorite movie of a series because, like, with the Friday the 13th, I think part 5 is one of my favorite, and that's not actually Jason, that's the fake one. It's like, but beside that, like, I like all the other parts of it. All the characters were very colorful, and the kills were interesting. And
that's another one that I would say gets a lot of hate. That I don't think it deserves the hate. I think part 5 is really good as well.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one to watch.
And the kills are great. The the dude getting stuck to the tree with the strap.
Well, the belt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the mother and the son, and they're like, they're complaining how the halfway kids are crazy, and when they themselves were even crazier.
Well, and what I think that what's funny is it kind of felt like a Pamela and Jason situation. Like you kind of got to see, you know what I'm saying? Like the mother and son got to grow up and whatnot, and that's how it was. It was interesting to see. I thought the actress that played the mom on there, she did a really good job. She was funny, but yeah, it gets a lot of hate that I don't think it's deserved.
So besides Friday the 13th, what are some of your other favorite franchises?
I would say I'll probably get a lot of negative response on this, but the Saw movies are actually a franchise that I have a special spot in my heart for.
Number 11 coming out in October. I can't wait.
That's right.
I liked how they intended the sequel in between. It's like you got to have Tobin Bell in it. That's what makes it great.
Yeah. Again, I'm a gore guy, so the traps are cool, but also the storylines are cool as well to see. The bits and pieces of the puzzle being put together and things like that. And Tobin Bell is really cool. I met him at Texas Frightmare one year, and I don't know. It's a good little franchise. I like watching it. I would also say, let's see, Critters is a little guilty pleasure. I would say. It's kind of a popcorn horror flick, I would say, but I like watching the Critter movies. They're pretty good. And then Jeepers Creepers, I will say 1 and 2 I do like. 3 not so much, and then
Reborn was horrible.
Yeah. 4 was bad as well, but I understand. There were some negative things behind the scenes that it had to be addressed. It made it a little hard production wise, but I would actually like to see someone give it a good try to make a reboot of the Jeepers Creepers franchise and kickstart it and hopefully not use as much green screen, I guess you could say, and go back to the practical effects and things like that. I think would be more beneficial for a Jeepers Creepers film. But yeah, those are pretty good. Nightmare on Elm Street is a pretty good franchise as well. I know Robert Hill, he's not going to come back, but that would be another one I would like to kind of see possibly someone try and start with again, like maybe even make it a sequel, like a spiritual sequel to the older films, and maybe somehow, some way get Robert to pass the torch to a new person, maybe a new soul takes on the Dream Demon, persona or whatever, and it'd be another person or something, just to keep Nightmare on Elm Street alive. A TV show would be cool on that as well, starting it from the beginning before he passes away. Kind of like, have you seen Tobe Hooper directed it? I think it was the opening to Freddy's Nightmares, I believe it was, a TV show. And the first episode was basically kind of like what happened before all that went through.
With the court and everything. Correct. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I think that would be cool as a TV show if they were to create that and do that. I think that would look really, really nice as like a reboot.
Yeah. Do you collect physical media? If so, what type of media do you enjoy?
I would say I have upwards of 5,000 to 6,000 DVDs. They're all in storage now. The end game on that is to eventually build like a movie room and do it up to look like a Blockbuster or something like that. Just have walls of movies all on each side and do that. that's the goal. Will that ever happen? I'm not sure. But yeah, I am definitely for the physical media. I know that's kind of going away with Best Buy getting rid of disc hard copies and things like that, and Walmart's kind of stopping with that. It's kind of going the way of the VHS. But yeah, I would say physical media. I really do like a lot. The awesome steelbook covers and things like that you can see, and it's cool to look at. It's kind of like a lot of people say they miss Blockbusters, that you can actually pick up, the movie and look at it, and, read the back of it and all that. So yeah,
it's like, plus you get all the special features and everything. And then let's say like internet goes out, you can't stream that. Hey, you got your physical copy. You're good there.
Or the streaming services just randomly drops, your favorite movies like Netflix or Hulu or whatever. So it's nice to have a backup copy.
Right. That is a main complaint between me and my friends. Just Netflix will be like, "Oh, you're looking for The Hills Have Eyes?" You click on it. Oh, we don't have that title. Well, it says The Hills Have Eyes, but you don't have the title, So yeah, it sucks that they keep pulling and adding and removing all these titles, and it's not a mainstay type thing. So yeah, that does suck. It really does.
I forget what it was. Not Vudu, but there was like this streaming. It was like on the purple card it used to be or whatever, but they. Even if you bought movies or whatever it was, or certain ones were taken down because, like even if you paid for it, you lost it or something. I forget what it was, but a lot of people were pissed off that their movies were gone that they were supposed to have.
So it's like they would get the digital copy, but then they would go away or something.
They would go away even after they paid for it. So it's like,
but yeah, I mean, and some of the DVDs have cool interactive menus. Saw 2 had one where you like go through the trap house or whatever, and you do all these different things and stuff like that. Final Destination 3 had one where it was like choose your own death or whatever.
Choose your own death.
Yeah. So I mean, there's cool things you can do like that. But yeah, a lot of people are moving towards this instant, the streaming stuff, and it's faster, it's quicker, but like y'all said, if the lights, well, not if the lights, but if the internet goes down or something like that, or if the streaming service goes down, I mean,
or if they decide to take movies off of them.
Yeah.
Although I do admit though, sometimes like I'll be too lazy if I know I own it on DVD, but it's also on Tubi, and it's like it's easier just to stream. Sometimes honestly, I'll be too lazy to go open the DVD. It's like I'll just stream it.
Agreed. Now I will say, I do not like watching horror movies that are on television, like cable television. I want to see it, fully unrated, and it's the way it's meant to be seen. I hate all the censored stuff on television like that.
Yeah, they edit all the good stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, that's like Friday the 13th. Some of the networks will have a marathon, but they edit all the good things out. Like one of my favorite kills is when he picks up the guy and like crushes, and his eyeball pops out. In the edited version, he picks him up, and then boom, he's already dead on the floor. It's like you just edited the best part out.
You took
out the good part. Pickup. Okay, you're dead. Oh, what's up, Becco? He said that he came across something called Batil from India. It's 4 episodes on Netflix and has the India military being attacked from undead British soldiers from the 17th, maybe 18th century. That sounds interesting.
That does. I'll have to put that in the list to check out for sure.
The list of 50 billion things to watch. There's so much stuff that I want to watch. It's impossible to catch up on stuff. There's so many TV shows. I was talking to Brett earlier.
I will say though, I'm good about, if I heard it a day or two ago to go watch it, I'll watch that. But all my older stuff gets pushed further down the list, and Yeah, it's a
And then
never-ending list.
new stuff comes out. It's like, oh, gotta watch that. No, gotta watch
Yeah.
that. It's like,
Yeah, I'm painstakingly so behind with all the Marvel stuff because they're just like churning out so many movies and so many TV shows. I'm
Yeah.
just, it's like not even.
the
funny
shows. I'm
anymore.
behind on the shows. I'm just like,
Yeah. Star Wars is the same way. You know, they got so many things that come out, the shows and the movies, and
that new one just came out, the Acolyte.
Acolyte. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet,
Yeah.
but probably will.
Yeah.
I don't know, one day. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of people are saying the whole superhero fatigue because it's just getting so saturated in there. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a horror resurgence, kind of like the early 2000s, and have that come back again. That would be nice.
yeah. So, if you were to die in a certain movie or be the killer, how would you want to kill someone, and how would you want to die?
That is a good question. Let's see. I always had this idea for like a saw trap that the floor would be like acid. I thought that would be something interesting. Again, that would be like a gore heavy thing. You know, the person slips and falls on the acid. They might fall on the side of their face, and it would kind of look like
Two-Face.
the guy Two-Face, or the guy from from House of Wax, where they slice his face off and you just see the skeletal or the skull on that. So I would say something with acid for sure on a kill. As for a killer, I would probably say it would have to be something creative like Friday the 13th. That's my go-to on like kills and things like that. The sleeping bag kill, that's really, really cool. I would say, let's say something graphic. Have y'all seen the movie In a Violent Nature?
Not yet, but
Not
I
yet.
heard about that kill though.
But yeah, there's a kill in there that's like over the top, that out of left field, that it would have to be something like that. And again, gore heavy, whatever it would be.
I won't spoil it. I mean, I heard it from someone. I haven't seen the movie, but I heard the still. But I'll just say it starts with a stomach punch. I'll just say it starts with that.
Yeah, your typical Friday the 13th situation, but it goes above and beyond on that. It's pretty cool. I did enjoy that movie as a Friday the 13th fan. But yeah, something super over the top like that, I would say, would be a kill for the killer on that.
Yeah.
I would like to do.
Someone, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know, but someone was saying it was worse than Terrifier 2, and I'm like, I don't know. Terrifier 2, the whole bedroom scene, that was pretty intense there.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know if I would say as bad or worse than Terrifier 2, but it definitely catches you by surprise, and you're like, oh wow, they're pushing the envelope and pushing it further and further. It was interesting to see for sure. There were a couple of deaths actually in that movie that I was excited to see. It kind of felt like Friday the 13th coming back. A lot of people won't like the movie. It's a little slower paced than your normal Friday the 13th. They actually don't use music like scores in the movie. It's pretty quiet, which with Friday the 13th, you have Harry Manfredini's, wonderful music that kind of gets you in suspense and whatnot. But yeah, I would definitely say that In a Violent Nature is a pretty good film. Just if you would like to see it, it's as an experiment of what they were trying to do is follow the killer the whole movie. That was pretty cool.
I was going to say it's through his point of view, I think.
It is, yeah, it is. Like the opening kill, I would say, was pretty cool. Just watching the whole camera pan around the whole way and everything worked. If you ever played the Friday the 13th game on the single player mode, it was basically that, where it's you following around and you're hearing everybody's conversations and people going in different directions and things like that. It's pretty cool. It really is.
I have to check it out there. So I see your other cats joining. Both of them. Sweet. Is there anyone that you've worked with that has given you some good advice?
Yeah, I would definitely say the Desiree girl that I worked with on um, My Southern Family Christmas. She definitely, if I didn't talk to her, I would probably still be, pretty far back in where I was trying to get with the acting. But she helped me out a lot, and then also Joseph Poliquin definitely steered me in the right direction with the Actors Access. That kind of opened up a lot more possibilities and things like that.
Is there an actor or director you've never worked with who you would really like to?
Yeah. Again, I'm a gore guy. I would love to work with Tarantino on something. That would be pretty cool. I know he just backed out of doing the Film Critic movie, so I'm not sure what his final film is going to be. But that would be cool if I could possibly get in on that final Tarantino film.
It's the same thing. Anything else? Right? No. My brain just went. I was going to say something. I totally forgot now. You got anything else?
Hey, it happens. It happens.
Get back on track there. I was like, I had a question right after the Tarantino one, and I was like, and now I'm thinking I want to be in a Tarantino film. I think we all do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's one of your favorite directors, then I assume.
Yeah. He does a lot of homages to earlier films and things like that. And I think that's pretty cool that he does that. And he has a lot of people say his movies are dialogue heavy and they're not watered down, but they're weighed down a lot. But I don't know. I kind of enjoy the dialogue for sure.
Nice. And okay, I know you were talking about Marriage Bites. What other stuff characters that you can tell us a little bit about?
Marriage Bites. I play a character named Bill. He's a friend of Joe Camara's character, Martin, and he's a pretty. He thinks he's tough, but he's not. He's a big teddy bear. But he has a wife that he's in love with wholeheartedly. Her name's Angel. And it's interesting to see. I would say it's kind of like a zombie film, but with vampires, because the town's getting overrun with these vampires, and it's cool to watch the townspeople and Martin and Linda, who's Ashley Hargrove. She's playing the wife in that. Just watching the townsfolk go through the motions of a normal zombie movie, but it's a vampire situation, which is pretty cool. I like that. Another film I have coming up would be The Clown Motel 3. And that one, I don't think he has a name. I'm a cowboy. And I have a run-in with some of the clowns. One of them is going to be Jenna Jameson, and the other one is going to be Nicole Butler Vegas. She was a producer on Skate to Hell. We're pretty good friends on that. We met from Skate to Hell, and so the cowboy is going to be with a couple of his comrades sitting around a campfire, and the two clowns are going to come up out of the darkness, and we're going to have to do what we got to do to try and get rid of these clowns.
So, have you watched the first two yet? I'm assuming
I have. The first one I saw the first one. I think it was on Tubi, and I thought it was cool. The whole plot of it and everything was cool, and I could see where he was kind of wanting to go with it, and so it was cool to. I haven't seen the second one yet, so but in my mind, I'm pretty sure it's been this progression, and he's been getting more funding and whatnot, with each film, and they've been getting a bigger budget and a bigger scale. So I really think that it's a pretty cool franchise for sure, and I'm happy to be a part of the Clown Motel franchise. Which years ago I had heard about the Clown Motel, people go and visit it and things like that, and I thought it was pretty cool. I'd always wanted to visit the Clown Motel and things like that. But yeah, it'll be cool to be a part of the film.
Do you have a favorite clown movie?
Favorite clown movie? Let's see. Well, fun fact, when I was maybe 3, my dad showed me Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Scared the hell out of me. I was definitely afraid of clowns till I was like 5, maybe. Luckily, he was able to break me of that fear. But I would say either the original It with Tim Curry. I've just loved Tim Curry, watching everything he does. Or I would say not House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects with Sid Haig. I like Sid Haig and the character of Captain Spaulding. He does a really good job on that. Yeah, I would say those would probably be my top clown type movie things, I would say. But you never know. Clown Motel 3 might be the one to
not to sound biased or anything, but
that's right.
It's actually a really good one on Tubi that, in my opinion, is pretty underrated. It's called 100 Tears.
Okay, I'm about to check it out. But actually, I thought was it Eli Roth? It was Eli Roth. The movie Clown, that was actually pretty good as well.
That was a good one where it was turning into a clown. It was getting stuck to his skin.
And then they go to the play place, and he's inside the tubes of the play place and killing kids. And oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I might have to rewatch that one again. It's
yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, yeah. So it was like I was deathly afraid of clowns. So it's kind of weird that I've gotten to the point that I've completely faced that fear. And I met Damien Leone and David Howard Thornton. Awesome. Yeah, took a picture with them, with him in the art get up and everything, and it's just fun. Meeting some of your movie heroes, I guess you could say, on that.
So how long have you been going to conventions for? When was your first one?
First one was Texas Frightmare in 2013, I believe it was. I want to say Malcolm McDowell was there. Yeah, I had never really gone to it. Really, that was probably my first convention ever. So I never really saw all the fans together in one spot.
And that's a big one too, Texas Frightmare.
Yeah, being with with all your horror movie friends and fans and aficionados and things like that. It really is kind of like a family, going to something like that. Everybody being on the same wavelength with all the movies and things like that. It's cool. And the screenings that they show and things like that the movies, they're pretty cool. I'm trying to remember. There was one movie we saw at a screening. It was I can't remember the title of it, but the girl went on like a spring break vacation in like South America or something like that, and she was swimming and she gets bit and she comes back home.
Oh, it's called Bite.
Bite, that's what it was. Yeah.
Bugs, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They screened that at Texas Frightmare, and I love that movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's one people should check out.
Yes, Bite.
I think I know at one point it was on Tubi. I don't know if it still is or not because how they do change stuff.
Yeah,
but it's got the cover where she's like eating. Yep, I found it. Yep, it's on. It's a 2015 movie. While on her bachelorette party getaway, bride-to-be Casey gets seemingly harmless insect bite. As soon as she discovers one bite can change everything.
And it's graphic and gory and body horror and all that. Oh, did I? Are we good?
Yeah.
We're good. Okay.
I kind of cut out on me. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or what.
But kind of like The Fly, I
but
guess
yeah,
you
it
could
is.
say, body horror where you're just watching the transformation.
It's kind of like a female version of The Fly, actually. Yeah, it's kind of like that.
It was cool. I enjoyed that, and seeing that in the screening with all of the fans and stuff. It was super cool.
Yeah, I had seen old 80s, old 87, old. The one with Kane Hodder and Bill Moseley with the ambulance. I think it was old 80s, old 37. Whatever the ambulance number was. I forget right off.
Oh, yeah. The number of the ambulance.
Yeah, old 37. I was the first one. They had showed that at a convention. It was the premiere of that. Kane wasn't at that one or anything, but they did the screening of it there, the director and stuff, and that was always fun. It's always fun to go to the screenings and everything.
It is.
There's going to be in Kansas. I guess they've done other shown films there. It's called the Slash and Bash, so I'll be attending that. Okay. Yeah, because I'm going because they're going to premiere Cheerleader Elimination, which I worked on. Julie M. Prescott will be there, and Dylan Fawn Harvey and all that, and I'm going to be one of the guests there and everything. So it'll be fun to see the audience. And I've been lucky enough. One other premiere, I went to the Stalking, which was fun. It's fun to go to the premieres and all that. So
it is, yeah.
What was it?
That was in Albany, for the Stalking.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a good one. So, and I think aren't they doing Cocaine Werewolf premieres also?
Yes, next month in Wellsboro.
Ooh, I didn't know about that. That sounds pretty good. Cocaine Werewolf.
Yeah, Greta is one of the stars in it, actually.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to be looking for that one, Cocaine Werewolf. But yeah, I've always wanted to go to Monsterpalooza, stuff like that.
I haven't been to that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I have a copy of Killer Goats, which has Kane in it. Yeah, Kane is always good in it. Killer Goats was a weird movie, though, but it's interesting.
Well, speaking of goats, there was another one. I think it was called Black Sheep. That was a weird one as well.
The comedy one.
Yeah, with what was it? Weta, the creature shop from Lord of the Rings, I believe it was. Made that movie, worked on that movie, and it was a weird movie, but it was fun,
Kind of have you seen Lawmageddon?
Lawmageddon? No, I haven't.
They actually at one point they shoot lasers through their eyes and stuff.
Oh wow!
It's funny though.
Yes, indeed.
If you like those weird obviously
slaughterhouse things like that.
I like Slaughterhouse. It was a really cool idea, but once they had him start texting and driving, I'm like, okay, you lost me on that. I was I was expecting, I didn't know it was going to be that much of a comedy. I thought it was more just a horror. Oh, Killer Sloth, this is going to be really cool. And that's the mood I was in. I wasn't in for a silly, if I knew going into it, it's going to be I would have been oh, okay, that's hilarious. I was, but I'm watching, I'm just okay, I wasn't in the mood for that.
You were looking for Child's Play 1, but it was Bride of Chucky, essentially.
Pretty much. Like I said, Black Sheep, that movie had me rolling. I mean, using
yeah, they're in the truck, and they're like, well, who's driving the truck? And it's the sheep just,
What's that other one? It's Day of the Animals, Day of the Animals, or something like that.
Day of the Animals? I haven't heard that one.
Or Rise of the Animals, or Day of the on the cover it shows a squirrel with an eyeball, but they're in a cabin, all the animals are attacking them and everything.
Oh wow! There was another one, Zombeaver. That's a
zombie. I was just about to say a Zombeaver.
Yes, indeed. Killer animal movies.
Yep, and with Monster Killer being killed using for it. Yeah, that's true.
But then there's just inanimate objects that get turned into killers, because there's a killer sofa movie, there's a killer toilet, and isn't there a killer toaster or something?
Well, they're coming out with Air Fryer Slaughter is going to be coming out soon.
Oh yes, I think that's what I was thinking of.
It's not out yet. I think I think they finished filming. I know they have the R-rated trailer or Red Band trailer or whatever out. I think Matt Skinner does the voice of it. I don't know if Jessa Flux is in that one or not. I mean, she's in everything, but they did it. They actually.
I think Mel might be in that one.
I think Mel might have a part. I'm not sure. But I know a lot of the same people that work together in the same circle. It's
yeah. Again, work with people that work well together, and that's how magic happens.
I don't think it was Day of the Echo was saying Day of the Animals is the one with Leslie Nielsen, but he wasn't in it though. It was something else. Let's see, going super S-ful mode and trying to fight a bear. You can guess how that is. Yeah. What's one of the weirdest movies that you've seen, or plots, or craziness?
I saw. It wasn't too weird, but it was something cool. Speaking with the whole killer animal thing, the movie Grizzly came out. I think it was in the 80s or something like that. That was pretty cool to see. The whole point of view killer thing, but it's from a bear. You see the paw and stuff like that, killing them. And then the sequel, I think they just recently released the sequel. It was like the footage was lost forever or something like that. They couldn't find it, but then they eventually found it, and they cut it together and stuff like that. Like Charlie Sheen's in it, and like it was wild to see that new cut of the movie, and that they were able to find it. I guess it was in a storage unit somewhere that it got unearthed, and they were able to finish the movie. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Before we were trying to think of like what animal that they haven't used yet that would be interesting to see in a movie. It's hard to think.
I would be down for a killer kangaroo, believe it or not, because they'll box you. You'll see one sitting in. That's what they say. It'll sit in the middle of a pond or a river or something like that. For you to go and help it, it will drown you in the river. Like it's so. I would like to see a killer kangaroo movie with the backdrop of the outback and all that. That would be pretty cool.
Have they? I don't think they've done maybe an anteater. I don't think they've done that yet.
Oh no, that would be cool.
But maybe like I said, like because their tongues and stuff like that.
Killer koalas, because they're also called like drop bears, and just have them be vicious. Or
koalas would be too. Because my wife and I went to it's called Hamilton Pool Preserve or something like that, I believe it is. But they have all these different animals and things like that, and they're like, yeah, sloths actually they can be violent if they want to be. They feel threatened or whatnot, they will claw you. And I was like, interesting. And then a few months later, I saw the trailer for Slaughterhouse, and I was like, interesting to see that.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I mean, I know I've seen both the zombie movies, the zombie animals, but I can't remember if they had a zombie kangaroo or not.
That would be cool to see. I would like to check that out.
They had like a zombie giraffe and stuff. And,
yeah.
You never saw those movies, the zombies?
I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, no, I haven't. But definitely a kangaroo for sure.
There's actually a connection to it. I believe it's Asylum movies, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's one, I think it's called Aquarium of the Dead or like that. And it's got a connection to the zombie movies. It's only because of like the medication. That's like the connection. Like they kind of bring it up a little bit, but so it's like in the same universe of the zombie movies.
What Jaws movie was it where they had the dolphins and the dolphins were fighting? And
that was the third one with Dennis Quaid. Okay. They were at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
That was actually a fun one. I like that.
It is. I agree.
That was the 3D one with the poor effects.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I think that was the 3D one. That was the 3D one. With
3D one it was. And I think they had that tunnel underneath or something like. Or was that a different one where there was that tunnel underneath and the shark was hitting the glass and it was filling up with water?
Yeah, that was the
same was the one. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it? Jaws the Revenge? Was this them follower? That was a dumb one. I didn't really like the Revenge one.
But it's nice. It's cool to see, well-known actors in movies that they started out in, or some of their earlier roles, like Jennifer Aniston and Leprechaun, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, you had mentioned earlier that you're a fan of Critters. Well, Critters 3 was Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie.
It was, yeah. So
and then
cool.
I'm sorry, I think it's were you saying something? I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, it's cool seeing them, the actors and actresses start out, in horror, nonetheless, to see them start in horror and then just their careers take off and do what they do.
Yeah, and then I was going to say Paul Walker was in Monster in the Closet or whatever, that Trauma movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was his first.
Really? Okay, I'll have to look at that one. Yes, indeed. So it's cool to see that everyone kind of starts out in horror a little bit there.
I don't know if it was their first, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was just about to say Texas Chainsaw. I was like Texas. And you got them for the Texas Chainsaw.
Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
they didn't want it, like the Scream Factory. They didn't want to be attached to it. They didn't want to be under these special features.
And believe it or not, that's
my thoughts, Greta. That's exactly what I was about to say.
That's my wife's favorite Chainsaw Massacre movie, just for McConaughey alone on that.
Yeah.
Then there's Johnny Depp,
really, really good job.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and Kevin Bacon, and Friday the 13th. Yeah, a lot of up and coming actors got their start in horror.
So it's cool. It's cool to see that all those roots in horror, just from such big stars. It's really interesting.
Monster in the Closet is also Fergie's first movie. Fergie who? The singer?
Wow.
or which Fergie are you talking about? Is there more than one Fergie, or I don't know?
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, there's a lot of them there.
Yeah, and that's weird that, like Jennifer Aniston or Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, they want to kind of throw that under the rug and not be like, well, I did start out in a horror movie, It kind
okay, so yeah, the singer, I don't remember her being in it, but now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, that's a thing to check off on the box to look for on that. That's funny. But yeah, so it's interesting to see those the humble beginnings on that.
Mm-hmm. Are you a fan of any of the Trauma movies at all?
Of the which ones? I'm sorry.
Trauma, the Trauma movies.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger. Yes. Oh yeah, I'm a big Toxic Avenger fan. I'm interested to see what this reboot, or is it a sequel? I'm not sure.
It's a remake or reboot or whatever. So I don't know. It might be if it's done right, it could be good. But
yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm definitely a fan of the Trauma movies and things like that. And my friend and I watched it probably about 10 years ago, the first Toxic Avenger, and we loved how crazy and outlandish it was, and then we just watched the whole series from there, and it's very, very cool. The team that makes the Jason masks that I was talking about earlier, they actually just recently came out with a Toxic Avenger mask, silicone mask that they just came out with. So that's kind of cool. Maybe I can dress as the Toxic Avenger for a convention next.
There you go. Have you seen the Class of Nukem High?
The title sounds super familiar. I think I have seen it. I just can't remember. I'm trying to place what was the plot on that one?
That's where their school is next to the chemical plant and everything. And the one guy just burst up, and there's one where in the janitor's class, I forget if it's in Return to Nukem High or a Return, like the second one.
Wow.
But there's one, it's crazy because these two, of course, they look like college. They don't look like high school. Like they look like adults, but they sneak off to the janitor's room to have sex and everything. And it falls on the acid, and dick comes out. I like it. It's so gruesome and all this stuff. And then she's like, and then they both melt into like skeletons. Like their skin just goes, and the janitor finds them in there and stuff. And it's just crazy. Like all.
I will say, in Escape to Hell, we do have a death scene just like that. So if you want to check out Escape to Hell and see that scene for sure, you'll be seeing that. It's pretty graphic. Carrie Maguire is actually in that scene. She was in Terrifier 2, so she did a really good job on that scene.
Let's see, I don't know. Is going to be directing his last movie. Oh, Lloyd, I think. Okay, yeah, that's. I think he means Lloyd. It was a typo. Movie and Jessica. Jess.
Yeah, I know some actors.
Jessa Flux said she's going to be cast in it, and I guess it's his last movie he's directing. Yeah, and she was saying how she's honored to be in a film, like she's been wanting to be in a trauma film, and she's in the last freaking one directed by Lloyd.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. It really is. But
that's right. But he retyped it. We knew what you meant.
To be quite honest with you, I really would like to see the Chiodo brothers get to make a Killer Clowns from Outer Space too.
I think they've been talking about it, but they just haven't done it yet. But
But I
think they wrap people up in cotton candy. I mean, come on, that's so much fun.
Yeah, that's
I want to play the game. The game looks fun.
The game I heard just came out. Yeah, so that looks like it would be real cool. But the fan base on Killer Clowns is massive. So the pull is there for sure to, for the fans to be in the seats for a sequel to Killer Clowns. So hopefully they can, knock one out and it'd be another classic.
Yeah. And the song's great there too. Let's see. Oh yeah, Echo was saying that the second one has been talked for years, and it was talked about a TV show at one point. So
I did. Yeah, I did hear about a TV show at one point. I think Sci-Fi was going to be the channel. I think on that, but I think it fell through.
Who knows? It's like they always pass on all the good stuff or end something where it's not continuous. Like, why did you end it like that? I hate when they end a series on a cliffhanger. That's like the worst thing ever. It's like at least complete it with a movie or something or anything.
Yeah, like a final movie event type thing, or So, but yeah.
So when you get a script, I want to ask you, for when you get into the character, do you have any certain process or way that you memorize it or that you go through it to become that character?
With a character, I will I'll read the script maybe a couple times, then I'll kind of go through the motions of, what's the character's motivations, what do they feel, happy, sad, the person that they're interacting with, do they like this person, do they not like this person, and I kind of do that, and it comes off pretty well, and it has done pretty well for me so far. And then another thing that I do for learning a script, which has helped me greatly, is I learn the last word or a couple words that the person in the scene has before me. So like say if, where are we supposed to go now? I'll just remember, now. And then once they say that, then I'll be able to hit my line and do it that way. I've always been pretty good at learning like my dialogue, but it kind of helps me a little bit more just to have keywords and phrases and things like that I can hear in the scene that helps me just put my dialogue within the context of the scene.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions from you, Greta, or anyone in the chat?
I guess going back to phobia. So you said that when you were a child, you were afraid of clowns. Do you still have any other phobias today?
I guess I have a little bit of fear of spiders. But other than that, I think once learning the clowns, originally it was the fear of clowns, and then actually I had a fear of the Chuck E. Cheese mascots, believe it or not. And then, so what my dad did was he brought me to the Chuck E. Cheese one day and said, "Yeah, we're going to break you of the fear of this." So he asked if we could go into the room where they would change, and they had like all the heads on the racks and things like that. And he showed me that it's just people in costumes. It's just play. It's not these creatures or beasts that are 6 foot tall, walking around. And I think after that, I think I really haven't had.
Well, at least it didn't traumatize you more, thinking they're just decapitated.
Right. Oh my God, Looking back on that, it could have it could have blew up in my dad's face on that. Thankfully, it didn't. But yeah, so I would say if I was scared of anything, it would definitely probably be spiders.
Mm-hmm.
So would you not be in a movie that was like a horror movie about spiders, like an arachnophobia type movie?
No, I think I definitely would. I'm learning from those other past fears and phobias. I would learn to kind of push myself through it and face my fear on that, because it's kind of an irrational fear, I guess you could say. But yeah, I would definitely be cool to do, because I think they do have an arachnophobia remake coming out from James Wan, which that'd be cool to be in. I like James Wan. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to being in a spider horror movie or something of the sort. That would be pretty cool.
What do you think attracts people to horror movies? Do you think sometimes maybe it's a help towards phobias, or they like being scared, or what do you think?
I think it's a little combination of both. I think some people like to be scared. You get the adrenaline rush, kind of like people that like to go to haunted houses and things like that. We like to be scared, and you get the initial jump scare or whatever it is, and then you're like, "Ooh, okay, well, it's not going to hurt me or whatever," and then you just go from there. I will say, my wife to this day, I would take her to haunted houses when we were dating, and yeah, she will not step foot in a haunted house now. Like, it will not do. I'll have to go to the haunted house myself. But yeah, so I think what people flock to horror movies, a bunch of different things. For me, I like the gore. Some people like the twists. Scream has pretty cool twists, I would say. Some people would probably go for the storyline on some of them. Hereditary or Midsummer, something like that. But yeah, I think it's kind of like a sit down version of a haunted house, essentially. Horror movie. You get scared, and it's a kind of an adrenaline rush to watch the movie, and that's what makes it fun. At least for me, I would say, it has.
Okay. Besides Saw 11 coming out, any other movies that you're looking forward to seeing?
Let's see. Do we have horror movies coming out? I know we do. I know we do. It's not really a horror movie, but I am super excited to see Wolverine and Deadpool.
That looks like it's going to be good.
That's going to be one for sure. And again, it's going to be gory as hell, and that's what I like. But I would like to see something come out that would probably be something A24, I would say. That would be
funny. Thanks, Cheetah. Yeah. Well, if whoever's watching, if you're either live in Kansas or willing to travel to Kansas, September /and Bash, you can see it.
There you go. But something A24. I like the A24 production company.
Oh, Maxine or whatever is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah,
The new
there you go. Okay, yeah. I saw the trailer for that. You see Bates Motel, and she's looking up at,
I haven't watched X yet, but I've watched Pearl because that was the first. Well, even though it came out after, it's like the order of it. So I got to watch X now. But Pearl, I enjoyed it.
It's wild they filmed X and Pearl simultaneously together like that. They said it was because Ty West he caught COVID or something, and so when he was quarantined in his room, he just wrote Pearl while they were still out there trying to film X, and he asked Mia Goth to stay on, and they made 2 movies. It was pretty wild that they did that. We're able to do that in like a matter of I think 2 weeks to like a month or something like that, or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm. And then what else is coming out? Oh, I heard they're gonna Eli Roth is gonna do his second Thanksgiving, so that'll be. I don't think it's this year.
Yeah, that'll be further down the line for sure. I did hear. I wasn't much of a fan of Rob Zombie's The Monsters, but I did hear that I think it's James Wan is coming out with a new Monsters that he's going to be working on. That I think James Wan can pull it off. I think that would be interesting to see.
Well, I think aren't they going to make? I heard that, but they're going to make it more of a horror instead of comedy or something. I think, or
yeah, he's probably going to lean more into the seriousness of it. I think, whereas Rob Zombie's was more of the slapstick kind of aspect of it. So that would be interesting to see. I know they did the Mockingbird Lane TV show.
I thought,
yeah, I thought that one was okay for what it was trying to do, be a little different and whatnot. It was interesting.
I think that was the TV movie one or whatever. They just
was.
Wasn't
it a pilot and then it did so bad like they
it didn't continue on.
Audience
I mean, I didn't think it was that bad.
No,
but
it
just didn't viewer wise get out there.
Yeah, but I thought it was an interesting take on the Monsters for sure. But I'd be interested to see James Wan's vision of the Monsters for sure. But yeah,
I want to see the Bride that comes out.
The what was it?
The Bride.
The Bride. I don't think I've heard that.
It's a remake of the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, really?
Maggie Gyllenhaal is doing it, and Christian Bale's going to play the monster.
Really? No, I haven't heard that. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna have to look into that. Have they filmed it already, or is it?
I thought it was going to come out sometime this year. I think it was like Bloody Disgusting. I think they've been throwing snippets of new images. I think she got her brother involved too. I don't know who he's playing. Oh, and the actress who is in Men, the one A24, I believe she's playing the bride.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never got to see that one. Was it any good? I've never been.
So I liked it. So the one British actor, he is playing like all the male characters except for her husband, and like I'm very biased. I think he's a really good actor, and he did a really good job playing all these different characters. And I had seen him in I don't know if you watched Penny Dreadful. He had played the Frankenstein's creature, and I think that he did a really good job.
Was that the Penny Dreadful TV show or the movie?
Was it like HBO or something like that?
It was like a Showtimes. There was the original was 3 seasons, and then years later they did another one of like Los Angeles. It was a different timeline, but I loved the original. It was Ava Green. It's a gothic horror, and it had like all the monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, and Dr. Frankenstein, and they had other creatures. I'm very much of a gothic horror nerd, so I just kind of gravitate to that.
Oh.
It's just, if you like the gothic horror, I absolutely loved that show.
Speaking of which, you had reminded me, Beetlejuice 2, or Beetlejuice. That I'm interested to see that for sure.
I want to see it. I'm not going to have too high expectations, but I definitely want to see that one.
Yeah, I just like seeing a character or an actor go back to a role he did a long time ago, just to kind of I guess like a swan song for it. You know, it's kind of cool, interesting to see. Uh, I think Michael Keaton will definitely do a pretty good job on that. And I like Jenna Ortega. I think that's pretty. She's pretty
I
good
think
in the
she's a
horror.
good choice to play the daughter of Lydia.
Hmm. Yeah,
We'll see.
and then they got Winona Ryder back on that. So I think it could be good, but I also think, like you said, be a little skeptical. The stop motion might not look as cool as it did back, back in the day, the heyday that it was doing. People were saying like probably how high quality the cameras are now that they're filming that the stop motion might look a little like I don't know how to describe it, but like just look a little weird compared to what we're used to with Tim Burton stop motion type stuff. So I guess we'll see on that. But yeah, I'm interested to see that for sure. Just hopefully it goes well because from what it sounds like, Beetlejuice sounds like they're teeing it up for a third movie as well.
Yeah, they might. Well, I mean, if this one does well, they might have an idea. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Should be interesting. And Danny DeVito, like if you watch the clip, it shows him real quick, but you can tell Danny DeVito. You can see his character.
I think he's like the janitor or something like that in the underworld or something like that. So that'll be interesting to see them back together.
Mm-hmm. And then how he does that zip mouth again too, or whatever, like in the first little nod to it and stuff.
Yeah,
of course the doctor's just like, never speak that name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they all do all these years later, back with their characters. It'll be cool.
Yeah. So.
If anything, just cool to see them back as their characters,
Yeah. Man, I'm getting hungry for some dinner. Yeah, it's been almost 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes. So let's see what else. Anyone else have any final questions, you, Greta, or anything? Or I mean, I don't mind saying how long, but I'm starting to get hungry, so I'm ready. I mean, unless there anything else you want to tell us or promote or anything?
Just Clown Motel 3, Skate to Hell, and Marriage Bites. They're in the pipeline, and they're going to be coming out pretty soon. And they're going to be wild rides for sure to check out. So it's going to be interesting for sure on that.
All right, and if you want, we can go ahead and share your socials and all that too, and everything if you'd like. And
okay, you can find me on really IMDb. I have Facebook, Twitter. My Instagram.
X. You made that stupid name.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. My Instagram is Wolfgang Weller 91. Wolfgang, actually, my dad wanted my name to be Wolfgang, but my mom had a final say on that, so I got Lance. But yeah, so those will be my social medias on that for sure.
Oh, and one last question that I always ask everybody. What's some interesting facts that fans may not know about you, whether a talent or hobbies or anything that you'd like to share?
Yes. From a very early age, I was a big fan of Sesame Street, The Muppets, Jim Henson. And I actually can do puppeteering, actually. I did that probably right after high school into probably my second or third year of college, doing that and things like that. There were like workshops and things like that we had out here. There's a guy named Clay Akey. He created a local kids television program with LPB, and it's called Ziggy and the Garage Band or something like that. But it's like an alien that crash landed in Louisiana in a junkyard, and he's learning things, and they have guests on and things like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so I did a couple workshops with Clay, and yeah, I would say that would probably be something people don't know about me. I can puppeteer and do that.
So you think you maybe do a movie or want to do something on your own, like with that, or would you like to do a production?
Possibly. I did actually for project in high school. I recreated the ending scene of Saw 1 with a Muppet whatnot that took the place of
I can
John
just imagine
Kramer.
that
So,
stuffing coming
yeah,
out.
that's on YouTube in the dark depths of YouTube. But yeah, so that would be fun to do. Go, do something puppeteering wise, and do maybe something horror related with that. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they've done like an all horror puppet movie. I don't think. I mean, they've done movies with
Yeah.
like partial puppets, but that could be
They got
interesting.
what was it? Pinocchio's Revenge or something like that. Yeah, that would be.
But I mean, like all
Yeah.
puppets, though, or like
Yeah,
a full
exactly. Yeah.
Wasn't there Meet the Meeples or something like that? There was something from the 80s.
Meet the Feebles. That was
Oh, okay.
the Lord of the Rings director. I can't think of his name. But yeah, he created that back in England, was it? Possibly, I think. But yeah, it's if you've never seen it, it's a wild ride. It's like an R-rated Muppet show. It's pretty.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, but it's been a
Yeah.
long time since there's been a reason. There we go.
Yeah, agreed. And then Jim Henson's son came out with the Happy Time Murders. That was something interesting, R-rated puppet movie. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of don't really see too much puppet stuff anymore. I guess it's kind of going the way of the VHS. But yeah, that would be fun to do. Bring it back, make something a little
Bring it back.
retro.
Yeah. So, all right, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you very much. And once Skate to Hell and that comes out, I mean, of course, you're always welcome back. Come on, and
Sure.
or maybe if you want a guest co-host, even like Greta, I mean, you're always welcome back. Good time.
Okay.
So
I appreciate that. Well, thank y'all very much. I appreciate y'all's time.
all right, thanks to
All
everyone.
right, nice meeting y'all.
And Greta, all right, have a good night. Thanks again,
All right,
Greta.
y'all have a great one. Bye bye.